Full power's coming in, sticks to the right for the crosswind, tail's coming up, flaps coming down, and there we go.
Woo!
What do you think about that?
That was awesome.
We're taking it cowboy style this episode as we take a flight in Levi's Slepcev Storch. Levi's been a friend of mine now for a couple years, and he's just one of those guys that you kind of forget how you met in the first place. Feels like he's always been around. It's definitely not an overstatement for me to say that Levi is the best person I know in aviation. We're going to find out this episode the capabilities of Levi's Storch and his history in the airplane. Hang on tight, because this is one episode you don't want to miss.
All right, so this is a Slepcev Storch, or Storch, depending on whether you're trying to say German or English. And it got the name from the long spindly legs. The Germans called it and I can't even pronounce it the way they did, but it's something like Storch, the original one. And this one is a replica, 3/4 scale size. The original was about 46-foot wingspan, and this one's only about 32. So the original's a lot bigger, very big airplane. And this one has a Rotax 912, 100 horsepower Rotax engine. It's a 4-stroke, regular, normally aspirated engine. And it weighs about 785 empty, the whole plane, and max gross 1320. In World War II, you just ferried a J4 or an L4 the other day, right? So basically this is the Germans' answer to the L4. So the L4 had a liaison mission, mainly for flying over the battlefield. They did spotting for aerial guns and stuff like that, or, artillery, and battlefield assessment, damage assessment. And they would take commanders over the battlefield. They could look and see what's going on, back in the World War II, you had lines in the sand, so to speak, ditches and trench warfare, all kinds of stuff. And then they could also land out in the battlefield. So the L4, Piper J3 Cub, the U.S. just basically took a Piper, painted it green, put some more windows on it, and called it an L4, little 65 horsepower engine. And the original, the Germans went to the drawing board and they got something like this. And like I said, it's big, 46-foot wingspan and a 240 horsepower engine on the original. You could actually put 3 people in here. And some of them were configured, with the machine gun on the back. But they did the same thing that the L4 did. They battlefield assessment and liaison, and commanders would fly over and check on the troops and stuff. The original one, the most famous claim to fame is during World War II, Hitler had captured, or Benito Mussolini had been captured, who was the Italian guy, and he was held in a mountaintop hotel as a prisoner. And Hitler rescued him from that hotel with one of these. So they landed this thing up on a mountaintop in a very short area and put Mussolini in there. And there was some general or colonel that didn't want to be left behind. He wanted to be on the ground when they got out with Mussolini. So they had 3 people in the plane at this high elevation airport, and they barely got off. But it was a big raid. They dropped gliders up there, and for soldiers, and they rescued Mussolini. And this is the airplane that took him down off the mountain. So that's kind of the main claim to fame for the model. Yeah. Wow. But anyway, so back to your question about the STOL competitions. Yes. Yeah, so I do a lot of the National STOL competitions, not all of them. We've got, the next one is up in Virginia, which is at an old airfield where they have a museum, Heritage Museum. I can't remember the exact town it's in. I'm not gonna make that because that's too far for me. But the one after that is St. Joe, I believe, Missouri. And then we've got Rocky Mountain up in Wyoming, I believe, somewhere. We've got several coming up. I just have to, I just kind of go with what I'm available to do and what I can get to. The absolute best landing and takeoff distance that I've ever done in this thing in a competition, I'm sure that's what you're asking about, right? In a competition was about, I think it was 46 feet takeoff and 47 foot or landing, or 50-foot landing. It was a total of 98 feet if you add them both together. So.
Okay, Levi, well, you ready to go fly?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
My shoe, so I don't know if you know this about me. I don't like to fly with shoes. If that bothers you, let me know. But
As long as your feet don't sink, I don't care.
All right. No, I don't think so. All
right,
that's better.
I fly, when I do competitions and stuff,
Yeah.
I fly with house shoes.
Yep.
Because these, especially the brakes in here, experimental airplanes don't always have the best geometry for stuff down there.
Maybe it's like a placebo effect, I don't know, but I feel like I can get better input, you know what I'm saying? Inputs from the controls when I'm barefoot.
And I usually fly with cowboy boots for normal flying, like today.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I really want to get on the brakes and stuff and the STOL competition, it's close quarters and we're really trying to get maximum effort. I fly with, like I said, with those house shoes so I can really feel the pedals and stuff.
Well, so we did a podcast with you in Sun and Fun, which is going to be releasing on our Hangar Bums podcast. But you were telling me that you served not only in the Army, but also in the Marines. Am I correct in remembering that?
Yep, that's correct.
You don't meet a lot of people that have served in two branches.
Semper Fi. That's the Marine Corps motto, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I was an enlisted Marine, and I did infantry, force recon, or recon and force recon, and I got to jump out of planes and scuba dive and shoot machine guns and blow stuff up.
That's awesome.
Essentially.
Did you find yourself right when you left? Were you missing it pretty bad? Or were you kind of ready by the time you separated?
You mean when I retired completely?
Yeah.
I did not miss the military. What I miss the people and the camaraderie.
Yeah.
You know, I missed that a little bit, but I didn't miss it too much because not long after I retired, I went and flew overseas as a contract pilot, flying military airplanes, still overseas.
Okay.
So I was around a lot of military folks. All right, so now let me see. We got a crosswind, but not as much wind as we had before.
Temperature 18 Celsius. Dew point 18 Celsius. Altimeter 299.6. Remarks: lightning, distant northeast, through, south. Density altitude 1,400.
All right. They're still calling that lightning out there distant, but it's definitely long gone now.
Oh, yeah.
But this is nice, crisp, cool air for a summer, or semi-summer, spring day. All right, so we're going to do a little run up here. This thing does not have magnetos in the sense that you're used to.
Okay.
It's basically electronic ignition, and then but we check it. We call it a mag check anyway. Let's see here.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll hold the stick here, and I'll run it up to 4,000, and then check the left, back to both. Just like a regular mag check in an airplane, but it's just not the same thing.
So you said you have EMAX?
It's a Rotax engine, and I guess it's essentially similar to what you would call EMAGs. They're more like a.
Who's the manufacturer?
Rotax.
Oh, okay.
It's a Rotax system, you know.
Gotcha.
They just don't have magnetos like you do. They have an internal alternator in the engine, which generates the electricity, which comes through the electronic ignition. All right, so I'm going to just normal takeoff. You would just take off with a notch of flaps. But what I do is I like to do like what I do at a STOL competition. I'll start the roll without flaps, and then I'll pull the flaps and take off. Okay, here we go. Full power's coming in. Sticks to the right for the crosswind. Tail's coming up. Flaps coming down, and there we go.
Woo!
What do you think about that?
That was awesome.
So
was that the tail that hit?
Yeah, when I came back down, the tail touched down, and we went right off the ground. The wheels actually came off the ground, and the tail touched it a little bit. Pretty quick, though, huh?
Oh yeah, that was fast.
But that's where fast stops with this thing.
Yeah.
It's fast to get off the ground, but once you get off the ground, it's not going anywhere fast. We're indicating 55 miles an hour right now, and we're climbing at about 700 feet a minute.
Golly. What's the service ceiling on this thing?
Oh, I think about 16,000 feet.
Okay. How quickly can you get there? Or like 10,000?
No, you can't get there very quick at all. In fact, I get to 9,500 feet in about 25, 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So we got a low, or not a low, but scattered layer out there of clouds. Looks real good out to the east now. Actually, this is nice flying weather.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're going to come back to the right, clear right. Tell you what, you want to have the controls?
Sure.
Okay, you have the controls?
I've got the airplane.
You got the throttle back there on your left?
Okay.
Okay, you have the airplane.
Are you set for cruise already, or do I need to pull it back a little?
We're good on right now for cruise, yeah.
Well, the visibility from the back is not super great, but...
Yeah. You get a good view of the back of my head.
Yep.
So you see the lake over there?
Yeah.
Just go toward the lake.
Okay, sounds good.
And we're just entering it, or exiting on a 45 on the downwind here.
It's heavy.
It is.
It's heavy.
Like I told you, it flies like it's a lot bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
It feels like a big airplane.
You know, you say that, but have you ever flown in a T6 before?
No.
A T6 looks like it would fly heavy, but it flies way lighter than this does.
Yeah, I believe
in comparison.
I bet it does, yeah. I would think it would, yeah. Let's come down a little bit. We're at, just out of this little...
What RPM do you want?
54, 52, that's good. That's good in there. Come over to the left so we'll be kind of away from all this
Gotcha.
little cotton balls up here. Few remnants of moisture in the air still. That's kind of cool though. Kind of a cool view, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's pretty. So how long has this airplane been based out of Killeen?
This one?
Yeah. All its life?
Yeah.
How long have you been based out of Killeen?
Since '93.
Wow, gotcha.
Before you were born.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I got here in '93 from the Army sent me here.
Okay.
But I'm originally from 150 miles west of here in Menard and Junction, Texas area.
You were telling me back when we did that podcast, you know, aviation's always kind of been a family affair. Your dad was very involved in aviation.
Yep, he was a pilot, crop duster, and the CFI.
Okay.
He taught all of his rancher buddies how to fly.
I love stories like that because it reminds me of people I grew up around.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, why don't you make a steep turn to the left or right?
All right, sounds good.
Clear on either way, left or right. That's a nice turn, but it's not steep.
Well, I can't see the...
I know. This is cool, though. I don't usually get to sit up here unless somebody else is flying around.
Oh, I'm all out of whack. This thing's heavy.
It is. I know. I told you it flew like it's real big, didn't I? Big lumbering thing. I told you
Oh,
that.
it is.
And you know, you see exactly what I was talking about now, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wallering around back here, golly.
Yeah, but it's still cool because the visibility is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, you can see down and out, awesome. Up and up is not good because your head's kind of in the wings.
Right.
Here. And for you back there, it's even worse, you know.
Yeah, I'm definitely noticing there's not a whole lot of sky.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You have to kind of look down to see
the horizon.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and slow it down. Just gradually put the power to idle real slowly. And just kind of see where, and then if you're comfortable, I'll just let you kind of stall it and see what you do. Just keep your rudder
coordinated.
Yeah, keep it coordinated, and you'll see it'll be very gentle. Keep pulling back on that stick. See, keep going back. We're 45. Just keep on coming back. Keep on coming back. You're descending, so come up, pull it harder. Pull it harder. There you go. All the way back. You get it all the way back in this. Get 41. Keep on coming back.
That's as far back as it's going.
Yeah. So see, it won't even really stall right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got it there. Now add just a little power to it.
Okay.
So it's not even really stalling. Just keep that stick back in there. You go. But when I'm coming in for an approach, I'm coming in.
Golly, this is heavy. It takes 2 hands.
Yeah. So there you go. Keep on there. Add a little more power there. There we go. See, we're up at 38. You know, we're sinking about 500 foot a minute, but so keep it back. I'm going to give it a little more power, and then we're going to get a real stall here in a second. Look, it's just flying right there.
Good Lord. That's about all the muscle I got, Levi. I'll be honest with you. I can't hold it anymore.
Okay, all right. Lower the nose in.
All right.
All right, there you go.
And power in.
What do you think about that?
Oh, gosh. My damn arm's switching.
Yeah.
That's how much this thing wants to stay flying. I got to fight it.
It doesn't want to stop flying, does it?
No.
Yeah, so you couldn't even get it to stall there. All right, I have the controls for a second.
You've got it.
I have the controls.
Woo.
Come back up here a little bit. Let's see.
Wow.
There we go. See there?
Wow.
Now you felt it right there at 29.
Yeah. That angle. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, so see, I can hold it here all day.
Yeah.
Look at that angle.
That's
We're climbing right now, see? We're at this angle. We're just holding a climb here. At 37 indicated,
Wow. That's crazy. Now, if this thing was to spin, is it recoverable? Is it pretty easily recoverable?
Well, I haven't actually spun it because we're not supposed to spin it on purpose.
Gotcha.
But I would say yes.
Okay.
The rudder, you feel that rudder.
Yeah.
It's a very long fuselage relative to the wing, and that rudder's big.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of authority with the rudder. So, yeah, I would, I've had an incipient spin and had no trouble recovering, doing what I was doing right there.
Yeah.
You can drop a wing if you're, and I've done that, and it recovers in quarter turn, So I would think in a fully developed spin it would be no problem. All right, you have the controls.
I've got it.
You have all the controls.
Well, thanks for showing me that. That was nuts. My arm's still sore.
Yeah, you got to pull it back. Now, it does have a trim right here. I could trim some of that force out.
Gotcha.
If you need to. If you're going to fly that way a long time, you can trim it out. But for what we're doing, it was fine. I didn't want you to get too...
No, all good.
Yeah, so we need to... Let's go ahead and go down here. We're going to turn off at that that second. So you got 1, 2, 3. The third crossing taxiway, there's kind of at an angle.
Yeah.
That's where we'll turn off.
Okay.
All right. Scholar Cup experimental. Storch is final runway 1, full stop Scholar. All right, so I'll go ahead and now what I was doing, if I was doing a STOL competition, I'm going to land on the 1,000-foot marker, or no, past the 1,000-foot markers, right?
Okay.
Where that first crossing taxiway is. See it up there?
Yeah.
We'll try to land about there. I'll go ahead and let's see here. Get my flaps in. Oh,
nope, you're good.
I think I hit the camera. Okay.
You're right.
Now we're going to come down. And the way you modulate your landing distance or landing spot, you modulate it with power instead of with pitch, so you control your descent angle with power and your airspeed with pitch.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm skidding my tires a little bit. What about that? That's just barely 100 feet.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. That is definitely a different landing attitude than what I was expecting.
Yeah. But it wasn't abrupt, was it?
No.
And but you said you wanted me to stop quick, so I got on the brakes there. But
yeah. Wow.
That's pretty short. One line or so. I don't know. You can probably see it in the camera.
Those gear really absorb a lot of the the impact of landing.
Yep, they do.
Not that there was a huge impact, but still. Well, thank you so much, Levi. This was a blast.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Levi, thank you so much for taking me flying today. I got to say, I'm really impressed with the capabilities of your airplane.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one thing to be on the ground watching this guy perform, but actually being in the airplane was a really cool experience. So where can people find out more about, because you're also a content creator.
Yeah.
And I've seen you at every aviation event going around interviewing people. You did an interview with me on the Waco UIC I ferried at Oshkosh last year. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was
made
cool.
my trip. So
Awesome.
where can people go and watch some of your content?
Well, on YouTube, I'm real original. Levi Noguess. Everywhere, just search my name.
Yeah.
for Levi Noguess at YouTube, and then Instagram is just what I guess the @ thing with Levi,
Yeah.
and then Facebook Levi Noguess.
Same thing. And
Yeah.
no guess about where to find
Noguess.
you then, huh?
Noguess. Yeah.
There it is. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Go check out, I'm going to put Levi's information right here so you guys can go check out his channel and watch this beautiful airplane fly. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Yeehaw.